The royal family's world trembled under a weighty revelation, a quiet but monumental moment that would redefine the family's future. When Prince William publicly declared his unwavering dedication to preserving the legacy of his late mother, Princess Diana, the ripple effect was immediate, and its emotional fallout would echo through the walls of the palace. The emotional tension between William and Queen Camilla reached a boiling point, and the British monarchy was thrust into an unpredictable storm, one that would shake the very foundations of royal protocol and familial loyalty. The interview that sparked this wildfire was not just any ordinary media spectacle. It was a deceptive moment carefully constructed to manipulate and expose the deepest vulnerabilities of the royal family. The deceitful manner in which the interview was obtained had a profound impact on what Diana ultimately shared during her conversation. As Prince William later revealed, that moment had done irreparable damage, not only between his parents, but to countless others as well. It was a mark on history, a stain on the monarchy's integrity. The consequences of that interview reverberated for years, and when William spoke out in defense of his mother's legacy, he did so with the full knowledge that the palace's sacred walls had been violated. What followed was a dramatic showdown within the royal household. Camilla, who had long fought for acceptance in a family steeped in tradition and old wounds, found herself broken by her stepson's defiance. The weight of Diana's shadow, which had once seemed distant, now felt suffocating. With each word that William spoke, each declaration of love for his late mother, the room grew colder. Camilla, unable to reconcile her place within the monarchy with her role in the family's complicated past, retreated to her private chambers, overwhelmed by the depth of the emotional turmoil. The shockwaves from William's actions reverberated far beyond his words. They reached into the heart of the monarchy, reigniting old scars that had never truly healed. This wasn't just a family squabble. This was the royal family at war with its past, fighting an internal battle that many had hoped would remain buried. Behind the closed doors of the palace, meetings were called, whispers filled the hallways, and the once infallible royal routine ground to a halt. The future of the monarchy hung in the balance, teetering between tradition and a modern reality that was growing ever more difficult to ignore. Even King Charles, the reigning monarch, found himself caught in a precarious position. On one hand, he was a father, proud of his son's commitment to Diana's memory. On the other hand, he was a husband, trying to protect his wife from the emotional damage caused by William's public declaration. The monarchy was a system built on duty and tradition, but as William's actions revealed, the royal family was no longer immune to the emotional complexities of the modern world. His decision to honor Diana's legacy wasn't just an act of personal devotion, it was a powerful statement about the direction in which he believed the monarchy should move. A direction that, whether Camilla or anyone else liked it, challenged the very essence of what the royal family had been for centuries. And the public, as always, had their own role to play in the drama unfolding behind palace doors. The people of the United Kingdom, and indeed the world, responded to William's actions with overwhelming support. Social media erupted with praise for his courage, loyalty, and unwavering commitment to honoring his mother. Many hailed him as a modern-day knight, standing up against a world that had long expected the royal family to maintain an image of stoic detachment and unwavering loyalty to tradition. For the public, William had become not just the future king, but the embodiment of Diana's legacy, a figure who would challenge the status quo to preserve what was most important. But the consequences of William's decision reached far beyond public opinion. Inside the palace, the atmosphere was tense, and the divisions between the family members were becoming ever more apparent. The tension between Camilla and William had always simmered beneath the surface, but this moment brought it into the light. Camilla had worked tirelessly to carve out a space for herself in the royal family, but as William's actions made clear, her presence would always be defined by the shadow of Diana. For many, Camilla was still seen as the other woman, the one who had been part of the painful chapter in Charles's life that had led to his divorce from Diana. That painful history was now thrust into the public eye once more, and the questions about her role in the family and her place within the monarchy began to swirl. It wasn't just about the love between husband and wife, or between stepson and stepmother. It was about a deep, irreparable fracture in the royal family's collective identity. William's actions had brought the past back into the present, forcing everyone to confront the unresolved emotions that had been carefully buried for years. For Camilla, this was a painful reminder that no matter how hard she tried to reshape her image, Diana's presence would always loom large. In the eyes of the public, Diana was still the true symbol of the monarchy's humanity. Her warmth, compassion, and relatability had touched the hearts of millions, leaving an indelible mark on the royal family's legacy. For King Charles, this moment was not just a test of his leadership, it was a test of his personal relationships. As a father, he stood by his son, understanding the deep pain that had motivated his actions. But as a husband, he had to bear witness to the emotional strain that this conflict was placing on Camilla. It was a delicate balancing act that threatened to tear apart the very foundation of the royal family. His decisions in this moment would have lasting repercussions, not just for his own relationship with his wife, but for the future of the monarchy itself. In the midst of all this, Princess Anne, known for her pragmatic and steady nature, stepped in to mediate. Her role was to preserve the peace, to ensure that the family did not implode under the weight of their own emotions. Anne's approach was always one of calm determination, but even she knew that this moment was unlike anything the royal family had faced before. The tension was palpable, and the choices made in the coming days would shape the future of the monarchy. Meanwhile, Prince Harry, though physically distant from the palace, could not escape the emotional complexity of the situation. His relationship with Diana's legacy had always been deeply personal, and while he was not involved in the public drama unfolding in the palace, he reportedly felt a mix of pride and sadness over his brother's actions. For Harry, this moment was a reminder of the family's shared history, the pain, the triumphs, and the wounds that would never fully heal. At the heart of it all was the undeniable truth that Diana's influence still shaped the royal family's present and future. She wasn't just a princess, she was a revolutionary figure who had transformed how people viewed the monarchy. Her legacy lived on in her sons, particularly William, who was determined to ensure that her memory was honored. For Camilla, this was a sobering reminder of how deeply Diana's presence had permeated every aspect of royal life. Despite her efforts to define her own role, she was always going to be seen through the lens of Diana's legacy, a woman who had captured the hearts of millions, and whose memory still held sway over the public's perception of the royal family. As the royal family grappled with these tensions, a new chapter of emotional turmoil was about to unfold. Prince Louis, just 6 years old, would become the unlikely figure at the center of yet another royal drama. What should have been a joyous occasion, his 6th birthday celebration, was quickly overshadowed by a confrontation with his step-grandmother, Queen Camilla. The day had started with excitement, a picnic in the palace gardens, a rare opportunity for the young prince to enjoy a moment of freedom, away from the constraints of royal protocol. But as the hours passed, the mood soured. Camilla, ever the traditionalist, had decided that the picnic was inappropriate for such an occasion, opting instead for a more formal indoor gathering. Prince Louis, frustrated and disappointed, could not hide his feelings. The tension in the room was palpable when Camilla approached him to wish him a happy birthday. Instead of the warm exchange one would expect, Prince Louis turned his back on her, a small but significant act of defiance. He then whispered to his sister, Princess Charlotte, "I hate her. She is not my queen." The words, raw and unfiltered, sent shockwaves through the room. Camilla, visibly shaken, briefly looked away, but quickly regained her composure, hiding the sting of her step-grandson's words behind the royal mask of neutrality. The moment was a sharp reminder of the growing tension between Camilla and the younger royals, particularly Prince Louis, whose free-spirited nature often clashed with her rigid adherence to royal decorum. Public reaction to this incident was swift and varied. Critics of Queen Camilla argued that her old-fashioned approach to royal duties was out of touch with the needs of the younger royals, while others defended her commitment to tradition. But one thing was clear: the monarchy was undergoing a seismic shift, one that was challenging its place in the modern world. The public's shifting attitude toward the monarchy was also becoming increasingly evident. While figures like Prince William and Princess Catherine were widely admired, support for the monarchy as a whole was beginning to waver. Younger generations, in particular, were expressing a growing skepticism about the monarchy's relevance in the 21st century. As the royal family struggled to balance tradition with the demands of a changing world, the question loomed larger than ever: can the monarchy survive this internal revolution? Can